Why don't the women want to cook and clean for the men anymore?
Because they're tired, bro. They have to go to work every day. That's not hard.
They're tired.
Yeah, they got to go to work every day, just like you
What are
do.
they, what are they tired
Of working. It's not hard. I mean, that shouldn't even be like, I don't even understand the question. Like, they're tired. Aren't you tired when you get home from work?
They're working every day, so they're tired. That's why I don't want to cook or clean.
Yeah. You think I want to work 8 hours and then come home and then cook and clean? I mean, I do it because I have to. I have 5 children. But yeah, I mean,
Do you have a
like
woman
this
right
is,
now?
I don't even, what's that?
Do you have a woman right now?
I've been married for over 20 years.
Okay. Does your wife work?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the roles in a marriage?
What are you talking about? Roles. And
What?
everybody does what they have to do.
Okay.
No roles
What do you do? What does she do?
for a living.
No, in the house for the marriage. What do you guys do? What are your roles?
Role. I don't understand the question. She does she does what needs to be done that day if she has time to do it, and if she doesn't, I do it. I do what needs to be done that day, and if I don't have time to do it, she does it. With roles, I don't know what you're talking about.
How do you not know what roles are in a marriage? You're married for 20 years. You guys don't
Because
have
those
any
don't
roles?
exist. Because those don't exist. Like I'm not white. I'm not a
What?
white
What?
Christian
What?
man. I don't.
What?
I don't
What are you talking
roles.
about? I'm not white. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, because you're trying to live up to like some white supremacist ideal of the
What are you
nuclear
talking
family. I don't.
about?
I don't. I don't
Nobody
subscribe to
said
that.
nothing about no supremacy.
Teamwork makes the dream work, friend. We a team. Ain't no roles.
What do you mean there ain't no roles?
I. It's not that hard to understand. You said why do women not want to cook and clean? They're tired. They have to go to work.
Okay,
I answered that question.
okay.
You said what are your
Who's it?
roles? I said we're a team. We
If
don't have any
if there
roles.
if there's something that needs to be built in the house, who builds it? You or your wife?
Depends on what it is.
What do you mean depends on what it is?
Like if it's a toy for the kids, you know what I'm saying? My wife's better at putting stickers on, so she builds it. But if we're talking about
That's
like,
not
you know what I'm saying? Like
building nothing, man.
well, I mean, I'm sorry you feel
Putting
that way. It's still
stickers
a
on
task.
something, you've lost it.
It's still a task.
Yo,
But my wife's an interior
poor guy.
designer, so she can build anything.
I ain't got time for no foolishness. He
I
gone.
know that's right, dog. God damn. JR, he had to leave his ass at the restaurant. He had to leave his ass at the goddamn restaurant. This corny ass dude. What's wrong with this dude, man?
Hey,
Hold
on, bro. That nigga's so funny.
like that, man. You got a lot of guys out there like that. Tam, Laura, are y'all married? Y'all married?
No,
I'm not
Beware
married.
of dudes like that. Beware of dudes like that, Tam.
wait, which one?
That goofy dude that was talking about my wife. We don't have roles in the house. Look here, I don't subscribe in that. I believe in roles.
Okay, so my opinion on that, I feel like you have traditional men and you have more modern men. I feel like whatever works best for those two people, whatever agreements that they come up with that is best for them and how they're going to run their household, that is what they decide to do. However, I am on his side when if we are two working people in a household and they have 5 children, so he said, you expecting me, since he said there are no roles, and clearly the interviewer guy feels like, I'm assuming, is that a woman is still supposed to cook, clean, take care of the kids, maintain the house, all of that. He doesn't care that she's also going to work. So me personally, like the gender role thing, obviously the woman is the nurturer, she's probably still going to carry the bulk of the responsibility as far as taking care of the children, maybe cooking the majority of the meals. But you can't sit around and not contribute to your household because I'm going to work, and you still expect me to get off work from working an 8 to 9 hour shift and come home and still bear the entire responsibility or the majority of the responsibility in the home. That is just not okay. That's not fair. So I think two people have to decide what works best for their relationship and how they want their relationship to operate. Like, who are we to judge? If that man marries a woman that still has to get up and go to work and work 9 hours a day, and he still expects her to take care of the house, that is on her. She has to live in that. I don't. Me personally, I'm not signing up to do that. If you specifically want me to take care of children and take care of the home and take care of you, then you have to retire me. I'm not working. That's a lot on my plate. And I still have to get up and go to work every day and come home and take care of you, the kids, and a house. Especially if you're not contributing. If you're contributing and this is a team and I'm cooking, you're washing the dishes, or we alternating different nights where you're cooking, I give the kids a bath this night, you switch up, give the kids a bath that night. If we're both working, but if I'm not working, absolutely, there should be nothing unmaintained in that house when you get home from work and I'm there all day.
But Tam, let me say this. But let me say this. We all have roles where we indirectly think we got them. We don't. Let me tell you this. You're not, if you have a man in the house and you have a home, you're a homeowner, you're not going to go outside and cut their yard. You're not going to go out there and trim them bushes or cut the trees back. You're not going to. No, I said if you have a man in the home, Kelly. Now, if you don't have a man at home, then I expect you to do those things, right? That's called living. But if you do, you're not going to go out. You're not going to go out there, get up on that hood, check your oil, check your air pressure. You're not going to do it. Refill the windshield wiper fluid. You're not doing that shit. So you sit there saying you're going to do it. No, you're going to sit there. You're going to look at your man like, baby,
honey.
I agree. I absolutely
Could you go put some air in my tire? I need some gas in my car. Could you go fill up my tank?
So can I say something? Like the tasks that you're mentioning are like few and far between. It's not an everyday thing. So when my son was younger, I would wake up in the morning early to the gym, work 8 hours a day. Then I had to get off, take him to karate, come home, cook, clean, pick out his clothes for the next day, pack his lunches. If there's a man involved, you have to make sure he's taken care of, give him sex. And I was in school, so homework, it's just a lot. So to act like women don't get tired on these daily tasks every single day, it is a lot. And it's different if you're home all day long. Boom, you can get this done. We're already home. Dinner's already on the table. By the time you get home, babe, it's good. You're clean. My body's clean. Sex is ready. It's like you have time to do that. But working those 8 hours that you have to be away from the house and then still have to come back home and take care of everything, it is a lot to juggle and balance. There's all these little tasks that have to be completed every single day. I remember when I was sick and my son was like, he was like 7, and I was like, I just want to go home and I want to lay down because I don't feel well. But I remember I can't sit my ass down until I do this, because I just knew, like, okay, I'm not going to sit down till like 10 o'clock because I have to get it done and there's no one else to do it. But if there's a man and he's willing to like assist in certain things, if you're working, that shouldn't be a problem. If you are home all day long, boom, get it done.
If two people are working, both parties should be able to bear the responsibility of that home.
But that's not happening. Tam, in 2022, you got some of these women who don't work and still don't want to cook.
Well, that's that man.
Still want to take care of the home like they should.
That's the man fault.
This is an uncommon thing. So when y'all sit there and say, hold on, when y'all sit there and say, oh, it's just an occasion. But it doesn't matter. If the man's at home, you're going to look for him to do those things. If you break something or something's broken or something needs to be heavy lifted or getting or put up, you're going to look to that man to do those things. You're not going to sit there and want to do them yourself.
I agree.
If you go grocery shopping, you're not going to want to sit there and have to lug in all them groceries that you just already got put in the bag and put in the car. You're going to look to your man to say, hey, baby, could you go out there and get them groceries? What are you going to do? Yes,
what I didn't like,
the man is in a house, he's providing.
Women get tired.
Woman,
that's what I'm talking about. A man in the house. I'm not talking about you're single.
Listen, and that man has a woman that's not working, and she's in your house. You're getting up, going to work every day. You putting your life on the line, making sure you come back home. You should come back home to peace. You should come back home to a clean house. You should come back home to sex. You should come back home to a cooked meal. You should come back to those kids maintained. You should come back to have uninterrupted time when you get home. And if she isn't doing those things, that's a deeper conversation he needs to have within himself, that you're allowing that woman to be in your space and she's not contributing to your life in any type of way. You need
no,
to.
that heifer wouldn't be in
Say it louder, Tam. Say it louder for the people that don't.
Get this shit out. Get the hell out.
It's time to exactly. Why would you even want somebody in your space like that? But what I'm not going to
we act like we never heard this before.
I'm not still going to be in the working world, and you still expecting me to come home and maintain all those things, and it's not some type of joint effort.
Like I said, we act like people are not dealing with stuff like this. We're acting like people are not dealing with this.
But even I'm not saying it's not doable. It's just I don't like the fact that he just dismissed the fact that women get tired, because it is a lot.
Like, I don't think he dismissed the fact that women get tired. I think what he was dismissing, talking about the roles part. He talking about some white supremacy thing. We have roles. If you have two people at home, you have your husband at home and you have your wife. There are roles, whether you don't think you have a role or not. I just named some, and I know Kelly trying to brush it off. That's just occasion. But those things happen. Men have to take, most of the time, they take care of the outside. They do the outside activities, while most of the women do the inside activities. You're not taking the trash out if you have a man.
Every day you don't go change the oil. Every day, like the daily man tasks are like taking out the trash every day. Okay, you don't go do the tires and the oil and
most of the time you
every day. I'm saying these are daily tasks that we have to perform.
Hold on. Even if you have to pay somebody, I still have to make arrangements to get it done. It's not like it's just going to happen. I check my own tire pressure. I check my own oil. I refill my fluids if that's what I got to do. I do those things. I don't just pay somebody if I don't have to. I mean, if the air go out, I promise you, you're going to look to me to make that call. If the heat goes out, you're going to look to me to make that call. Baby, our heat's gone out. It ain't coming off the refrigerator.
I don't know how to do any of that.
We need to, I want to move the couch from here to there. You understand what I'm saying? I'm looking to redecorate. Baby, could you move the couch out so I can vacuum behind her? You're not going to want to do that if you have a man in the house. And you sit there and talk about, oh, it's just a once in a while thing. Even if some of the things in the house you still want the man to do. What if you got some plumbing issues going on? You want that man to fix that. Or at least attempt to try to do something or make the phone call to get it done.
Can I ask you a question?
See, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So when you come home, when you had a wife and she cooked and cleaned, right, and took care of the kids, when you came home, what were like the daily tasks that you had to accomplish before you could like sit down and just kick your feet up and just relax?
Shit, whatever needed to be done. If I had to cut that grass, the grass had, well, like I said, I don't cut grass with my son, but I still had to coordinate that. My son need to be picked up from events. I need to be taken to events. I'm the one to take him because she's at home cooking the meals, right? I'm making sure things are done. I'm making sure homework's getting done. I'm making sure the homework's being checked. I'm doing those things. So because if you're cleaning, I got to respect that. I'm not going to tell her fry the chicken up and still try to help my son with his homework. No, I'm not going to do that. That's what I'm going to do.
Right. So you're agreeing with us. You're helping. You're assisting in those tasks.
Hey,
that's all we're saying.
Yes, sir.
But some men aren't willing to assist in those tasks.
Nurse Fancy say you need a plant, dog.
Ow.
Nah, but
hey,
look. I was kind of. Oh, go ahead, Jay. I'm after Jay. Go ahead.
All right. Nah, I think the dude was just being difficult. He knew what he was talking about when he was asking the questions. Guy was just being difficult. I'm sure if he wrote a list out of things that he did versus things that his wife did, those are roles. Now, everybody's household is different. Like he said, his wife was an interior designer, so she was probably skilled at something that he wasn't. So she took on that task of arranging the house and maybe building a wall unit or something. You know what I mean? So she had that task, but he was just being difficult. He knew what he was talking about when he said marriage roles. You know what I mean? What I would have asked him, just to be on the funny side, I'd have been like, yo, if some gangbangers break in through the front door, like, are you gonna push your wife to go handle it? Is it her day to shoot the intruders? Like, you know what I'm saying? So he knew what he was talking about. I think homeboy was just being difficult for the sake of being difficult.
I think he really believed that. He really did believe what he was saying.
On that list, like how many of those things could you classify as ability? Like you're able to do it, and who would have either of those things on the list?
What list you talking about?
The one where Jay, when you were saying like, if he listed out things, different roles, how much of that would be like based on ability, based on gender?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I grew up in an apartment my whole life, so coming to an environment where you have to worry about a yard and realize it's like a haircut, like how I get my haircut. Yo, the yard need a haircut every now and then. I can't stand cutting grass. You know what I mean? Like, I hate it. But for me as a man to look out the window and see a woman in the sun pushing the lawnmower, it just don't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna happen. And if you have a guy who's sitting and the woman look through the window while she pushing the lawnmower and he's sitting there with, controller in his hand looking at you, get rid of that nigga. Get him up out of there, yo. There's something up. There's something innately wrong. You know what I mean?
That's facts. So let me be the first to say, right? Let me start off by saying this. I ain't cutting grass, but I'm paying for niggas to come out and do it. You understand? Like me and my dog Andre, he come and cut that grass all the time. But that's because I'm traumatized. I grew up cutting yards. I'm from South Florida, and like down in South Florida, like we very particular about our yards growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't want to be that house in the neighborhood with your grass looking all brown, weeds growing all out your flower bed, shit looking all trashy. Hell no. So
and in Florida, it's an every other week thing, especially.
See what I'm saying? Nah, and sometimes weekly, depending on how much rain you getting. You dig what I'm saying? So like, I was out there doing that shit regularly. You hear me? Fucking up school shoes and all kind of shit. So. One of the first things I said when I go out here on my own, man, I'll pay a nigga to cut my grass. I ain't doing it. The other thing that I said I wasn't never gonna do, I was never gonna live in a house without a wash and dry because I used to get tired of going to the laundromat. But that's a whole different subject. Anyways, I'm kind of hesitant about jumping in on this conversation because the way things are ran in my household are completely different and unorganic from other households, right? And actually, ironically, my wife just came in with the groceries. So guess what I'm finna go do? I'm finna cam off, go get these groceries, bring them upstairs, because that's my motherfucking job, right? But I do have a lot to talk about on this particular topic. So I'm gonna pass the ball to Toya or somebody else. But when I come back, please let me, let me jump in there. Here I come, baby.
Hey, hold on real quick before Toya go. I want to tell a little short story. This is hilarious to me. I grew up cutting grass too. My grandfather would have me go and cut the grass. Well, my grandfather was real particular because he would be in competition with the firemen across the street. Like the firemen, they schedule. So he has a lot of time and he has a small amount of grass than we had. But he would look and be like, man, this motherfucker, I don't know what he's doing with this goddamn grass. It's so fucking thick and fluffy. So I went across the street and I actually got some advice from him. And I came back and I told my grandfather what the sauce was. Because my grandfather's grass looked good. I mean, he would edge the shit out of it. You would have thought, I'm talking about men are particular about their haircuts. My grandfather was particular about the haircut when it came to the grass. But a little secret for people that do cut grass is you want to fertilize your grass. And you want to fertilize it when you know it's going to rain. But you don't want to use the push one, because when you use the push one, it could just dump a whole bunch of fertilizer and you have that burn spot right there. So you want to take the hand fertilizer and you want to walk like every other lane. When you know it's about to rain, just go a nice little rhythm, come down, skip a lane, come back up. And then once the rain hit, you'll have fluffy grass. And this is true because I tested it, because when I got my grass, my neighbor came over to me and was like, man, what did you do with your grass, man? I said, man, look, this is what you do. So any man out there that wants to have a thick, fluffy grass, because the presentation in front of your house says a lot. It says a lot, man. So you got to lead by example. So if you maintain your grass, you'll be surprised how much attention, how much curve appeal that it actually has, and even to your fellow neighbors. So just want to drop that gem for you guys. I'm going to pass the torch on to Toya.
Yeah, that's like back with the grass, like that's true. And not only do you want to fertilize it, you also want to aerate your lawn. Like all that helps. Grass needs oxygen as well. And when the soil is compact, the rain and like all that stuff can't get through. So you need to aerate the lawn as well. And when it comes to our lawn, my husband is not letting me touch it. Do you hear me? I cannot touch his lawn. He needs those lines. They have to go a certain way, and he like his to go across, not straight up and down. And I love it because look, he was raised so whereas the man handled everything outside the home and the woman handles everything inside the home. But that's not to say that my husband does not help if he feels as though I need some help. Okay. But for the most part, I handle the majority of the things inside of my home. And my kids are older now, but I mean, when they were younger, yes, I had plenty of tired days, and I work from home now, but at one point I commuted every day. So I would drive a total of 60 miles every day. And I handled majority of the things by myself. Did I have days where I was upset and I was tired? Yes, I was, but that's what I signed up for. And that's how I look at it. I look at it as I'm a wife and I'm a mother, regardless of how tired I am, regardless of these sick days. This is what I am. This is my obligations. This is my role. These are the things that I'm supposed to do. And that's not to negate that I was not tired and had days where I just wanted to get in the car and drive and go sit on the lake with a daiquiri. But this is what I signed up for. So when I hear women say like, oh no, you know, and look, each household is different, but in this household, we run traditionally, you know. So do my husband, you know, wake up some mornings and bring me breakfast? Yes, he does, but that's just him being kind. That's a gesture. He doesn't have to do that. When it comes to dinner and lunch, if he's hungry, I get up and go and get my husband something to eat. Like that's just how we move. For some people, they move like in non-traditional ways. And if that look, some women work and the husband stay home with the kids. But each household is different. But in regards to my household and how me and my husband run things, it's more of like me being the one that cooks the dinner, you know, serve my husband, serve the kids, you know, help the kids with their homework, stuff like that. I'm more on hands with things when it comes inside of our household, and that works for us. You know, that those things works for us. Everybody else, you know, look, do what works for you. But in regards to this video, like what this guy was saying, I'm not about to, like, our TV on the patio broke and my husband went out to buy another TV this morning. Am I about to go out there and put it back up? Hell to the no. That's for my husband to do. Well, my husband tells me, babe, you need new tires on your car. He orders them, brings my car to get the new tires. It's just certain things that men and women do. And it's like, I'm not going to jump in certain roles if I don't have to. And I love doing my motherly, wifely roles. That's what I signed up for. So those times when you're upset and need to cry, bring your ass in the shower, cry about it, and get back out and do what you need to do. That's just how I look at it. Okay?
Hold on real quick. I do want to speak on this. And this message is just for men and some that I've learned just by having these discussions. I understand that there's a lot of 50-50 households. I don't know the stats about what's going on. And men do expect for women to still hold down the house, even though they had a 50-50. But I just want to encourage men, now that we are aware of the information that's being put out there, in my opinion, I think that women love the option. If you are within that household and she's still working, you want to strive to make sure that you can retire her as early as possible so she can, by default, be able to take care of the house the way it's supposed to. Logic made a great point as well when it comes to education, because back in the day, from what I've been hearing and seeing, it was a lot more emphasis with, it was a lot more tender loving care that was being brought into the house because the woman would be in the house. But if she's going out there working, and if you really think about how much time you really spend with your kid, if you out working a 9 to 5, she working a 9 to 5, the kid is at school, the kid doesn't really have that much time with the parents. And so if anything, you would want the kid to have as much time with the mother, you know, while you go out there and get it. Ideally, you want to put yourself in a position where both of you guys can be at home and have an empire that's built and it's being ran by somebody else. You just overseeing it. I mean, to me, that's the key right there. But that's a whole nother story. But just men, if you are within the household and you do have that 50-50, just try your best to level up to be able to retire her as early as possible so that more pouring can be poured into the home.
Do y'all think it's a difference between teamwork and roles? I was just saying, do y'all think it's a difference between teamwork and roles, like what one is supposed to, you know, like who gets up and goes does what versus, you know, us
absolutely
switching out our responsibilities together?
I think in each household there needs to be a conversation, especially if both people are working. You have to have that talk. I agree with Toya. Like, I grew up, I was one of 5 children, but my dad worked, my mom stayed home, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of in the home. And when you are working, some things do get neglected. Like if you're spending 8 hours a day taking care of everything, I mean, there was always a hot meal on the table when my dad got home because my mom was home. The kids were always well kept. We were taking care of. My mom used to sew our clothes. She used to make clothes, but she had time to do those things and take care of us. And she would take us to our events and our sports. Sometimes my dad would meet us after we got off from work, but she had the time to juggle. She didn't have to go to work and like frantically get home and put a meal together really fast. And it was half-assed done. It was like, there was always this really nice spread because she had the time to do it. So I get it now. That's not really feasible for a lot of people, but it is ideal. And the children do get to feel like their mother. Like we never got put in daycare. She even homeschooled us for a couple of years because she had the time to do it versus I'm figuring out. And my only issue with that video is the fact that he tried to negate that women get tired. It is tiring. It's a lot. And my son actually, he's 12 now and he's living with his father. And he called me. He's like, man, this is a lot. Oh, really? Is it? Well, I don't know what that's like at all. But he puts him in boxing. He has to bring him to school. It's a lot. But he didn't realize when it's all on him now, he knows. So that's all I have to say.
I want to get Siobhan and Jay in there. I know they've been kind of planning, so let's get them in there.
Real quick. Real quick, I just wanted to answer Kyle's question on what I interpret as a teammate versus roles. A teammate, a job that needs to be done gets done no matter who's available to do it. Whereas to me, roles are, if it's your role, it's waiting for you when you're back available. You know what I'm saying? Like if this doesn't get done, it's just not getting done until you're available to do it. Whereas a teammate is, you down, they're picking up the slack.
But you know, a lot of people now are working from home. And with people being able to be at home and kind of do their job, it takes a lot of stress off of having to go out every day. And a lot of people, I mean, they're working, but they're not working as hard as they would if they were actually in the office. So what do you guys men think about that particularly? If your wife or your girlfriend is at home and they work from home all day, what are y'all expecting?
I think work from home is perceived as, oh, well, you at home, you ain't got this to worry about or that to worry about. You know, there are pros and cons with working from home. I think it's still as stressful. You know what I mean? And the fact that you're working from home alleviates the feel of home. Like home is normally a place of peace. You know what I'm saying? You walk through that door, you get to throw your hat down. If you're in your home and you're dealing with all those stressors of work, it kind of throws the balance off. You know what I mean? Your home is supposed to be peace, where you rest, where you take a deep breath when you walk in there. But when your big screen is right here and your workstation is right here, it just kind of it's not what you think it is. You know what I mean? And I mean, it depends on your position too.